Hey everybody, it's me, the F-Bomb, and I'm here at Maple Grove Tavern interviewing Bessemer Saints, Cleveland's own Bessemer Saints. Hi, so yes, you guys are on that camera, I'm on that one, so that's where your focus is going to be. So anyway, you guys are like old school feeling rock and roll, which I really appreciate that. I think I mentioned there's a little bit of a Robin Trower feel to some of your guitar playing, and I really appreciate that because he's one of the best, you know. But
small mic. Give him a fuzzy thing. I appreciate
it. So over here we've got Tommy Packard, and you play the lead guitar, and then we have Corey Wooten. He is the lead vocalist. We have Terry Johnson. Some of you may know from the band Aletheia as the bass player. He's on drums and backing vocals. And then we have Shaggy, simply Shaggy. Hi. He's the bass and the background vocals. So this is Bessemer Saints. So I have listened to the 2 albums that are available out there. I'm in love with the first one. That is my favorite one so far. And I love that you guys put BS in it. and then your second was this is BS too. This is great. So, but that first one really really hooked me on that. And the great thing about this particular band is they were voted Best Original Album 2025 in the Cleveland's Best of voting poll that they had, which is fantastic. What great honor to be nominated, let alone to win it. I mean, that says something about you guys. I mean, that had to have been pretty exciting to get that news and be able to kind of wear that badge on your sleeve. Obviously, no ego, but you know, it's an honor, right?
Oh yeah. We didn't even know we were nominated. Yeah. I saw friends of ours that were nominated, went to vote for them, and then scrolling through to see what else was there, saw our name, so I texted these guys. But to me, yeah, to win that, to me, it's better than best band. It shows an appreciation for what we actually do,
what you create,
rather than people just liking to hang out with us or something.
I think it's a great thing too, because it's your peers, it's the fans, it's everybody that could vote you guys in there. It's not just, you know, a panel of people that sit behind a desk, right?
That's it. And we couldn't be more appreciative to the folks that you had to put in effort. That wasn't something easy. I don't know if y'all did that. I did that. You had to put in your email. You got to get a confirmation. It took effort. And there's a lot of folks out there that I think believe in us and what we're doing, that we're willing to put in that effort, and couldn't be more appreciative.
Yeah. That's great. I really, like I said, the first album is the one that I really, really appreciate the most. So
yeah, we had to make that one out of our own pockets.
Okay, sure.
What happened was we were just about ready to go out and play.
Bring it in more.
We were just about ready to go out and play, and then COVID hit. And we had
Oh,
no place to play, and we had a bunch of material that was ready. So we like looked at each other, went, okay, reached in the pockets, pulled out a bunch of money, and went to Mercenary Studios, where Noah Buchanan did a great job. on
okay.
us.
That was one of my questions, because I thought he did a great job developing that album and putting it together for
I
you.
wasn't sure if he was going to get us because, you know, he's a big death metal guy. You know, he does like some of the most extreme stuff you can imagine.
Yeah.
But he got us.
Yeah, he really did. It
So-
sounds good. It's tight.
It
I
was
mean,
like-
you guys are tight. Obviously, that says something about you, but he did a great job dialing that album in. Sure.
It was a good beginning.
So how did Bessemer Saints come to be?
He goes,
How and when? How and when?
Well, actually, Terry played bass in a band, Space Monkey, with me. And the last show we did, Corey was in that. But we couldn't find a drummer. Lost a good drummer and couldn't find anybody to fill the shoes. Well, we couldn't get one to show up, actually. But that's a whole other story. But I wanted to get back to my roots and get in a room and jam instead of just writing metal songs and saying, here it is, you know. So I asked Terry, you know, if he wanted to play bass or drums, knowing he played both. He picked drums, so then sure enough, we knew we wanted Shaggy next. He gave us the go-ahead to do the project even before we asked him.
yeah, I was all big cheerleader for him. Yeah, you need to do it. You need to do it. He calls me up. Yeah, we're going to do this. I want you to play bass. I'm like, I thought Terry was playing bass. He said, nope, he's playing drums. I'm like, well, put up or shut up time, I guess. Okay, so I'm in.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
So then we took this project on the road as a 3-piece instrumental. We had some tunes that we really liked. And our friend Corey across the way, this was the very beginnings of people starting to get back out into the world. He had a heavy metal jam night out in a really cool little brewery out in Lorraine, Basco Brewery. He set up, he had a PA, so we set up, we did our 3 prepared tunes, and then Corey's a super excited little kid in the candy store. He's like, fellas, do You got anything else? And he came up on stage and you scattered through a a made up jam or whatever we
Wow.
could roll through. And I mean, he was already one of the boys, already a pal. We didn't know. I mean, if you would listen to this man and his project, Shovel Face, of 15, 16 years now.
Oh, it's actually next year will be 20. 20.
Wow.
Almost old enough to drink. But that project, he has got one of the best dark growly metal voices around, and we knew that he had that in spades. But does he have interest in bluesing and crooning and swooning? And he's got all of it.
That is awesome.
So once we had the 4 pieces, it was time to put lyrics to the prepped material and take what we had down to Noah, and then we've got BS1.
And everything just clicked from that point. You just jammed right out, and there you go.
That's it. I mean, sometimes I do think some projects come together out of not necessarily necessity, but you're kind of putting your personnel together.
Of course.
This band, I'm very fortunate that we were all really good pals first, and then the music kind of flowed second.
Sure.
And having that kind of connection makes the workflow easy to the point of creativity. But now the hard part is putting ingot to steel and pounding it out to get what we like.
Yeah.
In the tunes.
Yeah. Now, is drums your first instrument, or is bass your first instrument?
Well, drums for me was the first instrument. I know it. Piggybacking off other interviews.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. As a kid, 4th grade going into 5th, you got to pick an instrument in school. I picked drums to go forward with, and so my formal education was there. I picked up guitar early on as a kid. My dad played when he was in the 60s and 70s in honky tonks, a lot of country western. So that he had my brother and I tuned up on guitar, and drums was just always something that made me feel that I can do anything at any moment. And to me, where I fit, we're different. Why I'm the drummer in this band and not the bass player is the dance music feel of what we've got.
Okay.
You are going to hear elements of heavy metal, a lot of really cool driving, riffing kind of tunes. You're going to hear sometimes dark, sometimes light subject matter out of the lyrics.
Sure.
But you're also going to feel that thump on the floor that makes you move your body.
Absolutely.
And I needed a project that I could do that. And a lot of times in the metal world, we're not really worried about that.
You're right. You're right.
Things are moving along a little quick for that. so we slow it down a little bit.
So is anybody else in the band multi-instrumental?
Actually, I play guitar, but I don't play guitar in any of the bands that I'm actually in, which is funny.
We're working on changing.
He has more guitars than I do.
Yeah, I actually own about 30 guitars.
Right.
Yeah. So I have a friend every now and then that he'll call me up. He does like hip hop stuff, and I'll write guitar riffs to some of his hip hop stuff.
Oh, okay.
So it's nothing permanent. It's just kind of here and there.
But you have an appreciation for what goes into it. You have an understanding of how the music is structured and things. That's a bonus. That's a bonus.
And being in heavy metal as long as I was too, I mean, that taught me a lot about structure and all that stuff, because that was my first band.
Yeah.
So I had never been in a band before until that. So I mean, it's I have a lot of fun doing it, and I get to experiment with a bunch of different other things.
Nice.
So.
Nice. So I know my husband went ahead and jumped on this question earlier to Terry, but I'd like to know where the origin of Bessemer Saints, the name, came from. I was challenged. My daughter asked me. I said, maybe it's just the street they live on, Bessemer Avenue, or something like that. So I need to know the story behind it.
All right. There's about 3 different axes. There's about 2 or 3 different axes to this. One is Bessemer Avenue, where Corey works at the steel mill down there.
Okay.
Another one is, the Bessemer process was the first way of making steel in the 19th century. It involved a lot of heat to pull the carbon out of the iron to make the steel with.
All right.
And that is a process that essentially changes you. And we have all gone through our particular processes of heating and tempering over the years.
Sure.
And plus we're not 22. You know what I mean?
Right.
So the Bessemer is that kind of process, also a nod to our metal roots, and Saints is a nod to our age.
Oh, I gotcha. All right. Well, all right. There is a story behind it. Now, tell me a little bit about the writing process for you guys. Is there a primary writer, or do you all kind of blend yourselves and your interest into it?
Well, I think we've evolved over a little bit of time. When we first got together, there was just 2 of us. It was Tommy and I, and he came with some prepared ideas. It's like, what is rolling around that makes this project different than what we've had before? As he mentioned, it's kind of an opportunity to get back to your roots. So a lot of the riff structure was coming out, but it was just kind of nebulous ideas. So then we kind of start putting a little bit of rhythm to it. But it wasn't until you'll listen to these tracks, especially on BS1. Uh, the bass is not your root note instrument in this band.
No.
For better, for worse, you are going to follow these tones up, down, left, and right. And the bass lines tell the story just as much as the guitar riffs, just as much as the lyrics do. So in essence, I genuinely believe that our best work is done when we work through ideas in real time together. And we're very proud. Not only did we have This Is BS, we've got This Is BS2 as our kind of honing our development. But in the wintertime, this past winter, we were putting together 4 weeks of attempted, well, I don't want to call it songwriting, but just kind of what does the ether have for us?
Sure.
And the boys will attest to the annoying emails that I send that we've got 50 raw ideas, each over 10 minutes long, of just free flowing, really cool ideas that it's just us in the room, in the moment, where it goes, and capturing feelings.
Yeah.
And to me, that gives us a great starting plot. It gives us a place to jump off. It's kind of like volleyball. Nobody can kind of necessarily do everything together. You've got to have one person to serve, one person to set, and if we get it just right, we spike it.
Yeah. So I know that you had some influences basically from your dad, the country music background. What about the rest of you? Where do you find yourselves landing on your playlist? What's the heaviest thing on your playlist as far as genre-wise, or maybe, certain
Don't hurt her.
certain person, or maybe you're just one of those that listens to it all and just goes from there. But some people love
I pull a lot of stuff from a lot of places. The heavier stuff, I tend to pick up like the doomier stuff, like Brimstone Coven, like Caius, like the old desert rock stuff. But a lot of things that come for me in this band, I pull from 3 essential sources. One is the old band Free, perfect minimalist, 4 guys sounding like 4 guys, but making so much great music with it. Canned Heat, because I absolutely fucking live the boogie.
Yeah.
Sorry. and the Meters, the original New Orleans funk band.
Okay.
And
Can't say I've heard of
that's
them,
going
honestly,
back
but-
to the late '60s.
Okay.
I would heartily recommend you check that out.
The Meters, huh?
The Meters,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's not slap funk, but it's the old style.
Yeah.
Well, it's got that New Orleans backlean slide to it.
All right.
So those are the influences that I bring in here.
Yeah, you've got a nice mixed bag of things going on there. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Corey? What's your backline there?
So I pull a lot from obviously like metal and stuff like that, because that's I was raised on that. My older brothers, I remember being a little kid and hearing like Iron Maiden and stuff like that, growing up, and then my brothers were also into little different things too. So like I ended up hearing Beastie Boys when I was a little kid and stuff, and that pull a lot from that. And then as I got older, I've discovered other bands and stuff that I kind of got into. Like I like Soul Coughing a lot. Oh, who else? I got really into old school Delta blues. I love that stuff. I'm still a giant metalhead. I'm Meshuggah, Cannibal Corpse, Slayer, all that stuff.
Okay.
That's right up my alley.
Sure.
So,
So
yeah, we do.
you do.
For me, I mean, I grew up. I have 3 older sisters. It was always classic rock playing in the house. There's almost 2 generations between me and my parents.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get much off of my parents. They weren't much into music, but so Led Zeppelin. I don't like Kiss, Rush, Deep Purple, and all of that. That's what made me want to play guitar. But when I picked it up, I heard Master of Puppets.
Oh, okay.
And I played metal for 30 years. That's why getting into this project, I wanted to go back to what made me want to pick up the guitar.
Sure.
And get into that, writing environment that Terry described.
Sure, absolutely.
At the same time, I love Devo. I'm a fan of Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can always pull something from everybody. There's a little something from everybody that has an impact on you one way or another. Whether it makes you want to dance, whether it makes you want to cry, it doesn't matter,
Just writing or song structure.
Exactly.
Regardless of the instrumentation.
Sure. So when it comes to song structure, is it a lyrics first sort of thing? Or I kind of pick up that maybe it's more of a music thing first. So, okay. Yeah. Some people are lyrics, so that's why I asked the question. but that pretty much answered it. You'd already answered that question. So, but personally, as you know, the first album is my favorite, but my favorite song on there is called The Bluff. So who's the card player in the house? This is a song about a card player, clearly.
Yeah, so I ended up coming up with the lyrics for that, and actually at the time I'd been going through a rough patch in relationships, we'll put it that way, and I don't know, that's kind of how it came out. I guess I was messing around playing cards and stuff online, and then as I stopped playing that, I started writing the song, and I'm like, that kind of works. Let me keep going with that.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how it came out.
Yeah. I was like, I'm listening to it. I'm thinking, somebody either knows how to play cards or just aligning that with his life as it's going at the time, So.
Yep, that's exactly what it was.
Sure. So, what's your take on the rock original scene in Cleveland? I know that the community is tight knit. It appears to be. I have to assume it is. But what's your take on how you're accepted as far as the venues are concerned and the audience? Is your audience growing, or is it sticky sometimes?
It seems like at least for my experience, it seems like our audience is growing. It's a lot of the bands that we play with are all super cool guys. We all get along real well. Everybody, usually we'll walk in and some of the other guys will be there from other bands. Like, hey man, you want a beer or a shot? Absolutely.
Very good at making
Yes.
Yes.
And fairly inebriated half the time.
But one thing that's interesting for us in this project, we're reaching for something that maybe we didn't necessarily have in our musical careers before.
Okay.
But what we did have in our musical careers before is 30, 40, 20 years in the metal scene. We've got scenes that we are anchored to.
Sure.
That we've got people. We've got pals, close pals, people that carry equipment, people that show up to every show, people that we do shows with. That scene's not exactly this scene.
Yeah.
So it took a little bit of elbow grease, and once I think we presented this material in front of our pals that know us for the off the deep end stuff, I think they get it. I think they get it. We all have common roots, and in through metal has common blues roots, and even if maybe what we play isn't on somebody's playlist, I think the connection to get there is it's not a big leap. It's not a big leap, and so we were able to pull early on from a lot of our pals in the heavy metal community into this community. But it also gives us an opportunity now. So now we've got people that we are not necessarily buddy with, we didn't grow up with, and now it's on us the responsibility to shake hands, to meet new people. And so in that aspect, I absolutely believe in my heart that we're still growing. It's still growing. And one thing that's great about this material, I feel like it's accessible. We're not really putting anybody out with it. We're not gonna scream at you. We're not gonna whisper at you. We're not gonna creep you out. We can be the lightest band on a heavy bill. We can be the heaviest band on a light, fluffy bill, and we kind of fit in all of it.
Sure.
So it's a nice little happy place to be.
Yeah. So, do you have any plans to go back in the studio maybe in the winter? Or how does that work for you guys? Do you have enough material to start to stitch together for another album, or tell me a little bit about that?
We got 7 tunes picked out of a lot of those jams that people brought in that we're working on, trying to get to 10, and then see how the timing is on the songs.
Sure.
We like to do a vinyl release.
Okay.
You only got so much time before you start losing sound quality. But between playing shows, if we don't have a show for a couple months, then we get back to writing the new stuff. So when it's ready and we feel we're back in the studio for sure.
Gotcha.
I like recording stuff, so I have something on my shelf when I'm older and say this is where I was at a point in time. So regardless of how things go, if we have material, we'll go and record it. That's why we did the first album without ever playing a show. It's like, we're gonna do it anyway. Let's just go and do it.
Right. I'm looking forward to catching that new one when it comes out.
Oh, thank you.
So here's kind of a question, like a round robin sort of thing. If Bessemer Saints could choose, who would be your choice to tour with or open for when they came into town? Or who would you like to collaborate with in the studio?
Honestly, to tour with, I'd like to actually tour the Red Fang. Those guys are really good.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like us. They're just 4 dudes from Oregon that are childhood friends and decided, let's make some music, see where it goes. And they're actually touring the country and out of the country and everything else. And I don't know. I kind of see myself in those guys. 'cause
Yeah.
They make music, they drink beer, and they have a great time.
Yeah.
You got me on record, and I'm not going to jump ship because this project is the same as that project.
Yes.
This project, I think we could open and do real well for Alice Cooper on a classic rock tour coming through. But as far as maybe a collaboration, I think it would be cool to get maybe Joe Walsh playing guitar on a little BS track.
Okay. You know what? He might fit in there real
That's
well.
what I'm saying. And geographically, I don't think it's going to be that big of a stretch.
You're right.
You just got to draft the right letter.
Joe, if you see this, call me.
Tommy's going to be mad at me, but I'll tell you, if there was anybody we could tour with, I'd want it to be Clutch.
Oh, I love Clutch. I am a
Yeah.
Clutch girl through and
Because of the people that love Clutch, get us.
through. Yeah.
There's a new Clutch tribute band in town
Yes,
called
I can't wait to see
Sassafras Cove.
Yeah.
We opened their second show
Okay.
at Dunlap's, and
Yes.
the fit was like absolutely electric.
Yeah.
Right there.
I missed it because
I
I had to
didn't really-
work. I was so
What's
bummed.
that? Yeah, we're playing with them February 5th as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
All
that,
right.
that would if you want like the wild shoot your shot thing, that would be
That
it.
would be the one, huh? All
You know,
right. That's you.
Pass the Dutchie down the left hand
I
side.
don't have any good answers. To be honest with you, at this point, anybody that would ask us to go on tour, as long as they're not idiots, I can tour with anybody.
You do it. You do it in
know?
a heartbeat, right?
Yeah, I think a couple of my favorite bands just don't tour anymore.
Yeah.
They're tired. Collaboration, I like the Joe Walsh.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Man, we've collaborated. We brought people in for saxophone, harmonica, stuff like that. So I mean, it's. I think in the future we still got to think about doing something with Don Seuss. Goose, yeah. I know another Seuss. Sorry, Don Cease. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, but my bad.
So aside from the best of original album of 2025, I can't help but bring that up. But aside from that, has there been any other highlights for Bessemer Saints that really just knocks your socks off?
I was actually just gonna say that, Jagger. Our album release show that we played here, it was really good feeling. And when we found out we sold it out,
Yeah.
they wouldn't let anybody else in. That was it.
Wow.
And we had a really good lineup, and the lineup was all over the place. So like we had After the Apocalypse open the show, and they absolutely killed it. We had Inducing Panic, which are good friends of ours, and they played middle, and then we headlined the show, and it was great seeing people sing the lyrics back to me and everything else. I'm like, wow, I don't
Yeah.
get that very often.
Yeah.
CD release.
That had to feel pretty good. That had to feel really good. Yeah.
A couple older ones.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Frank's place half the drive, too.
Yes,
That's magnificent.
And even the building back behind me, we're at the Maple Grove Tavern here in Maple Heights, and this is kind of our home base. We try not to wear out our welcome, but maybe twice a year to come back here towards the winter, towards the fall, towards the summer. It's such a great environment.
Yeah.
Nick takes such good care of us as artists. It's a great place to see a show. So if you see this out in the world, if you see a bill, and that bill's happening at Maple Grove, boogie on down to the south
The
side.
one to come to, huh? So considering, well, no, let me ask you this. Venues come and go. Obviously, you like this one here. This is a nice home base for you.
Yes.
Is there any of that you played at that are just not here anymore, thanks to the pandemic and all?
Well, unfortunately, there are, and
Yeah.
that list is for one reason or another. Sometimes it was staffing, sometimes it was just business relationships and rent and those kind of things. There was a wonderful club on the west side of town, Sly Fox Lounge,
Oh yeah,
that we've done some great shows with. We're very thankful to have the tail end of a 20-year career at that venue. The band that we've got guesting with us tonight was on one of our last sets at the Sly Fox.
uh-huh.
So I think the community kind of misses that one because we've got a lot of wonderful venues, especially in Lakewood and a little bit on the east side, that are kind of grouped together. If you go to one, you can kind of see one from the other.
Sure,
And,
sure.
and I would say if we had one that was kind of a loss to the music community, that was a big one. That one stung a little bit.
Yeah, I really liked that place too, and I think you're right. I think a lot of people do miss that, and hopefully somebody will snag it up
We
and
lost,
maybe.
whoopsie
Daisy. Mic drop.
Not drop, yeah.
Doesn't count.
we lost one. We lost our best one in Akron too. a couple years ago, called the Empire Concert
Oh, yes.
in North Akron.
Yeah.
We've played a bunch of other venues in Akron, but we really haven't found a place to stick
Yeah.
like we did there.
I did hear that the old Ramones is supposed to be opening again, and at one time that was quite the place. I don't know if it fell through, but I did read an article that they were looking to open that joint up again,
Okay.
which was right down the street from the Empire, so maybe funnel some people. But
Yeah.
I did like the Empire. It
Yeah.
had a great sound, great acoustics, and good sound engineering.
Also, we never got to play there, but I got to play there with another couple projects. I miss the Agora Ballroom.
The what is it?
The Agora Ballroom.
Oh, sure.
Because the Agora, now it's the Agora, which is a big AEG venue. That's a merch store. That space is a merch store.
Uh-huh.
But that held like 300 people,
Yeah.
and I saw some magnificent stuff there. Played there. Opened for King's X there. You see a little. If you look at my bass tonight, you'll see a little white scrawl on it. That's Doug Pinnock's from King's X.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No kidding.
So, but I got that at the Agora Ballroom.
How about that? Wow.
So that's another one I miss.
There used to be a bunch of Agoras at one time.
Yeah.
Painesville, Youngstown, Akron, Yeah, we had a lot of them, and then the only one left is Cleveland, unfortunately. So, but let me just look through here and make sure I didn't miss anything. But I've already asked Terry this, so Terry, you don't get to answer this. You're excluded from this because if you've watched the Alethea video on my channel,
Go watch
you
the
will know.
video.
You will know what Terry has said on this. So, I'd like to know what you would be doing if you were not doing music in the bands that you're in right now. It can still be music oriented, or it could be something completely different, something really off in left field. What would you be doing? Or are you doing it? Or do you have a really cool job during the day that might be makes you really happy?
I would still be working, although we'll see how that goes. I work over at NASA.
He's a
That's
rocket
that's
scientist.
different story for a different day as well. But I'd still be playing music in one band or another. I mean, that's why I put this together.
Yeah.
I'm a glutton for punishment. I like writing original music and playing it out and hoping people like it. So
Yeah.
I'd still be up for that as well.
Sure. How about you, Corey?
Honestly, I can't imagine not doing music. I've been doing it my whole life. When I was a little kid, I was in professional choir, and I got into playing instruments at an early age and all that. My brothers were super into music and all that. So honestly, I can't imagine if it wasn't this band, I'd be in another band doing something.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
playing guitar, singing.
How about you, Shaggy?
Gotta make me do it, huh? Well, I guess like them, I'm be playing music somewhere else. I play music at two other groups now. I'd probably be doing something like a big funk project or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the one thing, if I couldn't be doing that, I would have loved to get into writing, like concert reviewing, especially concert reviewing, because I'll tell you, that is a lost art. We are so freaking lucky to have a guy like ZM Delgado, the Rust Belt Rock Review, who goes to shows, writes about what he sees and hears. Because when we came up, like the Scene magazine and all those other magazines, you would have somebody who went to the
Sure.
AC/DC concert,
Sure.
who went to see the Ramones down at the Euclid Tavern,
Yeah.
and wrote about it, and then you could feel like you were there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now we don't have that.
Mm.
That whole art almost just vanished to a little dot.
Mm.
So if I couldn't be doing this, I would be doing that.
You guys, it was wonderful to listen to everything you had to say. I've learned so much about you, and makes me appreciate the band even more.
We didn't bore you, huh?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I'm looking forward to this gig, this show, and more to come too. So, those of you out there on the channel, make sure you hit up Bessemer Saints on all the streaming platforms. Check them out live. That's the best way to check them out. And support your local music of Northeast Ohio, because this is where it happens. I'm the F-Bomb with Backline EQ, and I'll see you at the next gig. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Really. This is the F-Bomb reminding you that you're never too old for rock and roll. So don't stop rocking, keep on rolling, and join me at the next gig here on Backline EQ.